Welcome to Bank Breakers. I'm your host, Billy Breed, and as always, I'm wearing a tie. Now that the niceties are over, let's get into the episode. Today, we'd like to start with quick notes. During the Seattle Seahawks Week 9 bye, quarterback Russell Wilson and girlfriend, Sierra, got not so hot and heavy while vacationing in Mexico. According to several always credible TMZ reports, the couple, publicly known for their sex-free relationship, could be seen exchanging promise rings, sleeping in separate beds, and watching reruns of the season 6 Seinfeld episode, The Beard.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
The Buffalo Bills traveled to the Meadowlands this week in Rex Ryan's first return to New York since his failed stint as the Jets head coach. In typical Ryan fashion, the brash head coach has named reserve linebacker and former Jet Ike Enemkpali as an honorary captain. Many of you should remember that it was Enemkpali who punched out Geno Smith this past training camp when the two were Jets teammates. Smith was placed on IR and Enemkpali was released. Presently, the Jets find themselves at a competitive 5-3 behind the leadership of backup quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, don't expect Rex Ryan's strategic trolling to go unnoticed this Thursday night, as rumors circulating the Jets camp find that their rabid fan base plan to give Enemkpali a 5-minute standing ovation before the game. And following the game, Mayor de Blasio will present him with a key to the city. It's been over 2 weeks since the global streaming of the Bills-Jaguars game in London, and apparently the effects are still being felt. Heavily influenced by Yahoo's experiment, the adult film site PornHub, your browsing history's silent killer, is currently in sponsorship negotiation contracts with an Italian Series A soccer club. If a deal can be struck, PornHub execs are hopeful that they'll be able to stream full matches on their homepage. There's no word yet if the telecast will be live or simulated, but if all goes according to plan, expect PornHub to rebrand itself as the worldwide leader in fucking sports. With that having been said, I'd like to lead us into our main story. Reggie Bush, who, like many of us, peaked in college, made headlines this past week as he filed a lawsuit against the city of St. Louis. It was on this play back in Week 8 that Reggie Bush suffered a season-ending ACL injury, and now the 49er running back is seeking reparations, as he claims it is the city's negligence for not covering the slippery concrete located adjacent to the playing field. Although at first, Bush was indifferent at finding legal aid, we, here at Bank Breakers, have it on good authority that it was this commercial that helped him change his mind.
Brian Wilson, the Texas Lawhawk! Talons of justice! Due process! Do wheelies! Brian Wilson, Texas Lawhawk!
Although personally I would have hired that man, Reggie Bush went a different route, attaining the services of notorious LA defense attorney Sean Holley. An excellent move, as Holley boasts a resume that would make even Jackie Childs happy. She's represented Kim Kardashian in the old doppelganger case of 2012, and I think we all remember how that turned out. She represented Lindsay Lohan in getting her off of 7 years worth of probation, while also being on the legal team that proved if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. Now, this certainly doesn't look good for the city of St. Louis, especially considering Reggie Bush was not the first athlete to get hurt in the Rams' concrete ring of death. As a week prior, it was Browns quarterback Josh McCown who lost his footing and nearly broke his shoulder on this play. Although this injury didn't lead to any concrete changes, the St. Louis Rams didn't do themselves any favors, informing the NFL after Bush's injury that they wanted to cover the concrete with something softer following Bush's injury. Which of course is the same excuse I used to tell my mother when I forgot to feed the dog. Mom! I meant to feed Woody, alright? I just had to finish my NFC Championship game with my ultimate team. Jesus! Now, hindsight is certainly 20/20, but the Rams are in serious trouble. As I've heard it, Holley plans to cite the famous Mrs. Lederman v. the Motel 6 case of 1992 as to why her client deserves some serious alimony payments. Many reporters have claimed that Reggie Bush will be seeking compensation for lost wages, possible compensation for future lost wages if he can't play because of the injury in 2016, compensation for pain and suffering arising from the surgery, injury, or rehab, and punitive damages aimed at punishing the defendant for not fixing the hazard and deterring others for doing the same thing. At this point, I believe the city of St. Louis has one conceivable argument they can make. Reggie Bush, you suck. You've got 47 yards through 5 games this season. There was no chance at the age of 30 that you were going to be signed to another team. So don't come here suing us for future wages. And on top of that, we're the city of St. Louis. We don't give handouts to players. We're not some college in Southern California. With that having been said, I'd like to move on to the rant of the week.
But they are who we thought they were.
Cannot coach with them. Can't do it.
Don't talk about it. Playoffs?
We here at Bank Breakers want to go after New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman. Now, I'm sure you're all familiar with the ruling that the state of New York has just made against daily fantasy sports, and we have a strong opinion about it. Now, in order not to let my emotions get the best of me, so I go rambling on and hell have you here for 5 minutes, I've written Eric a letter, and I am going to read you the letter I'm going to send to Eric as soon as I'm finished with you guys here. Here we go. Dear New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman, you pompous douchebag. On Tuesday, November 10th, you ordered the fantasy sports companies DraftKings and FanDuel to stop accepting bets in the state of New York on the grounds that their operations are considered illegal gambling. Based on the 6-month investigation, you've publicly stated it is clear that DraftKings and FanDuel are leaders of a scheme intended to evade the law and fleece sports fans across the country. You also added, today we have sent a clear message, not in New York and not on my watch. Hearing and digesting these statements, I only have one question for you, Mr. Schneiderman. Who in the hell do you think you are, telling hundreds of thousands of New York citizens that they are no longer to partake in something that they enjoy doing, that they're able to do with their friends and their family and their co-workers? Huh? Not on my watch? An industry fleecing sports fans? Who do you think you're talking to? This is the most outrageous and egregious attempt for public and positive PR I've ever seen. A year ago, Eric, we had no idea who the hell you were. And now, everyone's talking about you because you saw an opportunity to take advantage of a situation. So in a year from now, or 2 years from now, when you run for office, the idiots of this state are going to think, oh, that Eric Schneiderman, he really fought for me. He was on my side when we were going after the corporations. No, Eric, you're not, because you don't know what you're saying. You think this is a game of luck and not skill? You think us gamblers pour over Pro Football Focus spreadsheets to see which cornerbacks have the worst Pro Football Focus grade, or which defenses allow the highest QB rating because we think that we're getting fleeced by these corporations? What is wrong with you? You know what, Eric? I'm getting away from the letter, Eric, and I want to return to it. You know what my favorite thing is about this whole argument, Eric? That you can sit there and criticize daily fantasy sports as a game of luck, yet you and the other politicians of the state of New York blindly support the New York fucking lottery. I can't think of something luckier than winning the New York lottery. In fact, Schneiderman, do you know the odds of winning the New York lottery? 1 in 175 million. You have a better chance at getting struck by lightning on your birthday than you do at winning the New York lottery. Now, do you know how much money America has made off of lotteries across the country? Last year alone, they made $70 billion. Now, just because the state of New York or the American government doesn't have a piece of this daily fantasy sports pie, you're trying to shut it down? You're trying to say, oh, no, it's luck, it's not skill, this can't be allowed? Yeah, you'll blindly monetize hope with the citizens of New York by selling them lottery tickets every single day? Eric, I won't stand for it. I won't sit here and I won't let you do it. So you know what? You just can't come after a billion-dollar size market. You can't do it, Eric. We won't let you. DraftKings and FanDuel won't let you. And you know what? You got another competitor here. You got one in Bank Breakers. And we're coming after you, Eric. We're coming after you. So do me a favor. If you're watching this show, even if you don't play daily fantasy sports, click the link that's coming across your screen right now and go sign this petition. All right? Let's not let Schneiderman tell us what we can and can't do. All right? Let's fight the power. Fight the power. Now that that's out of the system, I would like to take you guys through our earnings report of the week. Here's how we did. Quarterbacks, we were 75%. Running backs, 50%. Wide receivers, almost 100%. Tight ends, just awful. And as you can see on the elite plays, we were quite successful as well. But how much money did we make? Not a lot, because we missed tight ends. We only made $12. But we aren't the only ones that made money. It's time for the Bank Breaker of the Week. And this week it goes to Tristan Dempsey, who played this lineup and won $180. And you know what you won this week, Tristan? You've won yourself a new little Hermes tie, little hand-stitched bow tie. We've called our Connect over in France. They're telling me it's coming. They say a little back order. We're not on the top of the list. We're actually not even in the middle of the list. We're more on the bottom of the list as Bank Breakers. We're not like one of the more respected customers. But they'll get it to us eventually. I don't know how long eventually it's going to take. It might take a little bit of time. But if you don't want to wait that long, we'll always send you Bank Breakers original t-shirt. Just let us know. Direct message us where you want the shirt to be sent and how you want it to get to you. Now, if you won more than $180, if you played better than Tristan did, you've got to tweet at us at bank_breakers. You got to tweet at us the lineup, and you got to tweet at us the money you won. And you might be the Bank Breaker of the Week. With that having been said, I'm done. I'm finished. I want to go to France and get myself an Hermes tie. I've had enough of this. But stay tuned and watch our episode on Friday. An episode's going to tell you how to spend your money on DraftKings, how to spend your money on FanDuel. I don't want to tell you.